Hi, and welcome back to Parade of Paws. I'm Officer Thomas Anderson with the Casa Grande Police Department, and with me today is Julie Tiemann. She's an animal control officer for the City of Casa Grande Animal Care and Adoption Center. Hi, Julie. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So I understand today we are going to showcase about 4 cats and a whole bunch of dogs. Is that right?
We are.
That's
yes.
great. Well, we're really looking forward to meet them. Remember, this is a great opportunity for you today to see some of the animals that you can adopt and make forever homes for yourself and for them. And we'll get started right away with our cats. And just so we can give a little intro, you know, a movie recently came out, Star Wars, and I believe you've done a little work behind the scenes in naming your cats, correct?
We have.
All right.
And our first cat is named Leah. It's a female. She is 1 year old. A domestic short hair, as you can see. And we like to call her the Princess of Cats.
And so you're saying this is Princess Leia?
Yes, sir.
All right, I understand now.
She's a pretty friendly cat, a little scared of what's going on here, but very quick to warm up. Loves to be scratched behind the ears.
And you say she's 1 year old, correct?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Just a baby. Okay.
And next I believe you have Vader.
I do. This is Vader. It's a male. He's 2 years old, a domestic short hair. A little bit shy, but very friendly. That's a good boy.
Now, we only have a few cats to look at, but as we're doing this, can you tell our viewers a little bit about, you know, they have questions sometimes about cats and claws?
Well, we do get in some cats that don't have claws. They've already been declawed. That is something you can do. We don't really recommend it, especially if you allow your cat to go outside. That's the only defense they have if they go outside. Most of the cats, or all of the cats you're seeing today, all have their claws. They have not been declawed, but they do need to be kept trimmed because claws on a cat can grow long enough to curl around and go into the pad of the foot. So it's important that we keep them trimmed. If you're unable to do it yourself, you can bring them to your vet or to a groomer and they can help you with that.
And although you provide quite a few services for dogs and cats here at the Animal Care and Adoption Center, trimming the claws or having claws cut are not one of those, correct?
That's not a normal practice for us, but we try to make sure that everybody that's adopted here has already been taken care of as far as trimming the nails and cleaning the ears and that sort of thing.
Great.
Okay.
All right, that's Vader. And next we have Luke.
This is Luke. This is a domestic long hair. He's about 9 months old. And as I said, he is a male. Very friendly boy. He would pretty much do this all day long if you allowed him to.
Now we get questions sometimes about cats and training them. Can you train a cat? Because aren't most cats pretty much their own, they have their own personalities and they don't really do anything you tell them to?
You can train a cat. It takes a little bit more persistence than with a dog, but you absolutely can train a cat.
All right. Yeah. And then our final cat is McMurray, and that is not a Star Wars themed name.
No,
Tell us a little bit about McMurray here.
This little guy was found on McMurray, and that's why we named him McMurray. As you can see, he's very attentive to anyone who's in the room or anything that's in the room. Loves attention. He's about 1 year old. He is a domestic short hair and pretty dapper with his bow tie on. Tickle boy.
All right, so McMurray is the last of our cats. And as we transition to the dogs that we're going to showcase for you, Julie, why don't you take a moment to tell us about the voucher program?
Certainly. Right now we have our voucher program going. It is a grant that we apply for and receive. We've gotten it the last 3 years. We can spay and neuter 2 pets per household for any resident of the city of Casa Grande, the city proper. What you need to do is come down to the shelter here at 202 East First Avenue or to the City Finance Department at 510 East Florence Boulevard. Pick up this voucher application and fill it out. It's 3 pages to it, very simple. Fill it out, leave it with the Finance Department or drop it off here at the shelter. And we will get your animals scheduled as quickly as we can to get them spayed and neutered. The only responsibility you will hold is a $12 fee for the rabies shot, because every animal that's done must have a rabies shot done also. This is part of the license plate program. So if you purchase one of the license plates to go on your car that helps shelter animals, they cost $25. $17 of that goes into the fund that's given out in different grants to different cities or humane societies or different places that apply for the grant to get the spay and neuter vouchers. We have, I believe, $10,000 for our city to spay and neuter animals for free for our residents. So it's a great program. Anybody can utilize it. So if you are in need of an animal being spayed or neutered, please come and get a voucher, fill it out, and we can help you with that.
Great, and it's a very popular program. The license plate program, if any of you are interested, you can always have a very unique personalized license plate, but you see quite a bit of these Pets Enrich Our Lives and animal license plates throughout Arizona. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty cool program, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, well, let's move on to our dogs. Are you ready?
Right, I am ready.
Okay, I believe our first one is Pilot, correct?
Pilot, yes. This is Pilot, and one of our officers named him Pilot because of his beagle ears and that he might be able to fly with those. And he's such a good little boy. He's only about a year old. Right now, as you can see, he's a little scared. He's pretty new to our facility. He's only been here a few days. So he's just warming up to us and getting used to the situation. But he seems to be very friendly with just about anything. Can be a little noisy when he wants your attention, but I think that's what most of us want from our animals, is that they're focused on us and want our attention.
Sure, and it's important for our viewers to know that when we showcase our animals, dogs and cats, they're usually pretty shy because, of course, we have different folks in the studio and cameras in their faces, but these dogs and cats aren't always like this. They get friendly pretty quickly, right?
Absolutely, yes they do.
All right.
Oh,
great, that's Pilot.
And this is Porgy, and I believe everybody knows what Porgy is. Porgy's a pug, very popular breed. Everyone thinks these guys are just the cutest little things. He's about a year old. Very friendly, as you can see. Not quite sure what's going on here, but just love the ears, right, Porgy?
Those are great ears, Porgy.
All right, buddy.
Before you leave with Porgy, can you bring Porgy back in with...
Sure.
With the next one up is Bess, right?
Yes. And Porgy and Bess came in at the same time. And as you can see, Bess is a little bit more outgoing than Porgy is. She is a female, so we have a male and a female, approximately a year old. Both will do well at Halloween, obviously. They love their costumes. Bess is just a little bit more outgoing than Porgy, but I think Porgy, once he gets to know you, is going to be exactly the same way. Pugs tend to be very outgoing, happy-go-lucky dogs.
Definitely a family dog, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Great. So that's Porgy and Bess. And next up is Molly, I believe.
Hi, Mom. Come here, Molly.
Molly's a little bit of a bigger dog,
yeah,
right?
This is Molly. Molly came to us, unfortunately, as an owner turnover. Family was unable to keep Molly. She's an older girl. She is about 8 years old, but she is spayed. She's incredibly friendly. We believe that she's got collie, possibly collie, shepherd in her breed mixes. But even though she's 8, she's got a lot left to give to a family. She would be an awesome benefit to any family. She appears to be housebroken, seems to get along with other dogs. Just an all-around good old dog. Oh, Molly. What's that? Okay, come Kylie is a little Chihuahua mix. She's going to wave for you there. She's about 10 months old. We almost feel like she has a little bit of husky in her with the hair and the colors that she has, but that might be stretching it a little bit. But we do our best to come up with an idea of what breeds are mixed into them. Very curious little girl. And I don't know if I said she's about 10 months old.
10 months old?
Yes. All right. Okay.
Kind of a big mastiff named Andre, right?
Yes. Andre, sit. Sit. Usually he does that quite well on command. He's just a little nervous, not used to this room. He is about 2 years old. He is just a sweetheart of a dog. Seems to be good with other dogs. Kids have come by and petted him, but we haven't had him specifically with children, but he seems to have an awesome disposition, very mild, not overly excitable, seems to be housebroken.
Now, Mastiffs are usually pretty big dogs, but being 2 years old, Andre's probably full grown already, right?
Absolutely. He won't grow anymore. He could stand to fill out just a slight bit more, put on maybe a few pounds, but he is almost at perfect weight here, and just a really good dog. Big dog, so hopefully if you choose to adopt Andre, you have a nice yard for him that he can run and play in and get some exercise. Not the kind of dog you would just like to put in an apartment and not get him out running around. Andre, come on. Good boy. Good dog. There we go. Good boy. This is Keith. Keith is a 10-month-old Chihuahua mix. And it's actually quite funny because he's acting a little shy here, but when he's in his kennel, there is nothing shy about this little guy. He's very active, very happy-go-lucky, but maybe it's because his partner is not out here with him, because he too came in with another dog.
Right, and when I was in the kennels earlier, I saw Keith with his partner, with his kennel partner, I believe. She'll be out in just a moment, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
So Keith's partner is Kayla.
This is Kayla.
It's a unique name for a dog.
Such a baby. And I believe she was named after one of our officers' granddaughters. Sometimes it gets a little complicated coming up with enough names for all the animals, so we tend to make them part of our families and give them family names. Yes. Look at the camera. There you go.
A little bit more shy here than Keith, but I can attest to it. When they were in the kennel, they were both quite active.
Very active.
Very happy to be
dogs.
around each other.
All right.
And if people want, they can adopt both of them.
Absolutely. They can adopt both, or they can adopt just one. They'll be fine if they went home on their own. Once they get to know your family and be a part of the family, you'll see an altogether different dog.
So after Kayla, I believe we are back to seeing a bigger dog, and that will be Arnold.
Hey, buddy. Come on, bud. Come on, Arnold. Come on, handsome. Good boy. Whoop, you okay? Whoop, whoop, whoop. And this is Arnold. As you can tell, he's a little bit excited. You okay? Okay.
So you think Arnold's probably a year and a half old, right?
Absolutely, and he is just a really neat dog. Arnold is already neutered. He is ready to go home and be with a family. But again, Arnold would need to be in a home where there was a nice yard for him to run around and get some activity. Because as you can see, he's a little wound up. He's been here for a while now, but we're hoping that we can find the right person to give this guy the special attention he needs.
And you know, these dogs like Arnold, they sometimes get a bad reputation, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Every dog needs training. Every dog needs your attention. If you just get a dog and put him out in the backyard, they may not turn out quite what you're looking for. But as you can see, this guy you can do just about anything with. You can play with his feet, pull on his tail, do whatever you want, and he's happy to be a part of anything you're doing with him. He just really needs someone who will give him the attention, find ways for him to get exercise, and I think he would be the most loyal dog anyone ever had. Good boy. And as you can see, he's a happy dog, huh, buddy?
Yes, he is.
All right, bud.
And next up, we have a special little guy, right?
Yes, we do. Come on, Timothy. Come on, buddy. This is Timothy. Timothy, I believe, is about 2 years old. We believe him to be Husky mix or Shepherd mix. As you can see, Timothy is missing one of his back legs, but it doesn't seem to slow him down much. Timothy was tied to a sign in our city here, and the owner never came back to get him, so the business owner that saw the dog tied to the sign gave us a call, and we went and picked up Timothy, and he's been with us ever since. Like I said, it doesn't slow him down with the 3 legs. He's a very affectionate dog, needs a great place to be and to fit in, right, Timothy?
Timothy's got a unique set of eyes there, right?
Absolutely. He has one blue eye and one brown eye. That's where we think the Husky comes in. But he is just a great dog, really needing a place to be, and he's unique. He's a good boy. Good dog. Yes, you're a good boy. So please, if you can make room for a sweetheart of a 3-legged dog, come and adopt Timothy. He's waiting for you. Oh, buddy. Yes. Okay, come on. Dublin is a Lhasa Apso mix. He just came from Stephanie's pooch parlor getting groomed, and as you can see, she made him look beautiful. He is about, I believe he's about 1 year old, and he's a very shy, sweet boy. He just, at first you think that he's never going to come to you, but once he sees that you just want to be his friend, he's just so happy to cuddle and hug and go anywhere with you, huh, buddy?
Well, he's definitely all cleaned up.
Yes, he looks wonderful. And thank you, Stephanie, for what you do for us. You do a great job taking care of these guys. Good boy.
So Dublin ends our showcase of dogs and cats. Before we move on to some good information for our viewers, when we had Keith and Kayla out here earlier, we mentioned that they're kennel mates, and I asked you about someone wanting to possibly adopt 2 dogs at once. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about what should go into their decision making to adopt a dog, and furthermore, to take a chance on adopting more than 1 dog at a time, because that's a big decision.
Absolutely it is. And things that are important are, do you have time to give to the animal? Do you have space in your home for the animal? Do you have a yard that will give them the space to run and get the exercise they need? Do you have the funding to be able to provide medical care for 2 animals rather than 1? Basically, the questions would be everything you thought about with adopting 1 dog. Could you and can you double that expense? Beds, grooming, veterinary care, all of those things.
Food.
Licensing, food,
right.
Yes, absolutely. Everything takes twice as much, so it's important. I know when you see them together, you feel like they should go together. You don't want to split them up. Sometimes that's okay, so that they're both going to a home and getting what they need, and someone is not getting overwhelmed with expenses or, care of 2 animals.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great information for our viewers. I think that there's quite a few questions out there that you all have. Sometimes you send them to us via email or social media, and sometimes you just call up here to the Animal Care and Adoption Center. And it's great that people like you, Julie, are able to answer all these questions. You always have the right answers. Why don't you throw out a couple more pieces of information, such as how many, we kind of discussed this earlier before we began our show today, how many animals can a citizen in Casa Grande have in their home?
We allow, or what the ordinance reads, is that you are allowed 4 pets per household. That includes cats and dogs.
Now those are registered pets.
Yes, sir.
Right? And
yes.
what is that process of registering your pet? Because we all know there are folks out there that have pets, dogs, cats, whatever, and they don't register them. What is the process for that, and what is the consequence of not registering your pet? And I don't just mean like a legal consequence, but what's the problem with not registering your pet? What can happen if, like, let's say your pet gets lost or something like that?
Well, let me start with getting your animal licensed in the city. First, you need to have them rabies vaccinated. You cannot purchase a license without a rabies vaccine. We have several low-cost vaccine clinics. We hold one February 6th from 10 to 1 at the dog park at the Paul Mason Sportsplex. Excuse me. The rabies shot costs $12, and you can license your animal. They have other vaccines available at the time of the clinic so that you can purchase those at a discounted rate. Then once you have your rabies vaccine, and also Tractor Supply has low-cost clinics. I believe they're on Wednesday evenings at the store where you can get the rabies vaccine, and different clinics throughout the area. You take your rabies vaccine certificate, you come to either the shelter here at 202 East 1st Avenue, or you can go to 510 East Florence Boulevard, and you can bring your rabies vaccine certificate and purchase your license. An unaltered animal is $30 per year for the licensing. An altered animal is $15 per year for the licensing. And in our city, the ordinance does read that all dogs and cats that are housed in the city must be licensed and vaccinated. The vaccination that you're required to have is the rabies vaccine. So by vaccinating and licensing your animal, and if they're wearing their animal, it gives us a way to get your animal home to you if they get out and they end up at the shelter here. When an animal comes in and has no identification or no microchip, we have to hope that you remember to call looking for your dog. Those are the only ways that we can get your animal home to you. Once the animal's been here for 3 days, we may put the animal up for adoption, or we may transfer it to a rescue. So it's important that if your animal goes missing, don't wait to call. Call right away. The phone number here is 520-426-9300. You must leave a voice message, but we'll get back to you as soon as we can. It's important that they don't wait.
That's right. Great, that's great information. And for those of you that have asked us quite a few times, the truth about leashing your dogs in Casa Grande, do you have to leash your dogs in the public? Absolutely.
The only place that it is allowed to have your dog off leash is the dog park at the Paul Mason Sportsplex. Any other area you have your dog, the dog must be on a leash or contained in an enclosed area such as fencing. Even in your front yard, if you have no fencing in your front yard, your dog needs to be on a leash or a tether. The only time they can be off of that tether is at the dog park.
That's great information, Julie. There's one more thing I'd like to ask you about. You know, we're in the middle of what's considered the winter for Casa Grande. Mm-hmm. For many people, it's pretty cold outside.
Absolutely.
I mean, just today it was in the low 30s this morning when we got out here. What should people take into consideration when, you know, when safeguarding their animals, whether it be in their yards or taking them for walks?
Well, that's a very good question to ask. We have a lot of dogs that are out and live outside. Now, there's no rules against being able to have your animals housed outside, but like you and I, they get very cold, especially the ones that have very short fur. So the ultimate thing is if you can bring your animal in and let it be part of the family inside the home when it's cold outside. If you're not able to do that, then providing them with a doghouse or shelter that gives them a place to be out of the weather where they don't get wet when it rains. There can be warm bedding in there so that when it's cold outside they can curl up in the blankets and get warm. It's very, very important. That's the most important in the wintertime, is remembering that even though we're in the desert, it gets cold here, and animals can get cold just like we can.
Right. You know what, as always, Julie, you are providing our viewers with a great amount of information that they should find very useful. Let's take this moment to remind everybody where the Animal Care and Adoption Center is located at. That is here at 202 East 1st Avenue in Casa Grande. It's on the south side of the tracks, south of downtown. There is a what appears to be a back door, but you have to go to the front door. The back door is more of a parking lot, but go to the front door. You can also call at 520-426-9300, but as Julie said, it is a voicemail normally. Sometimes it's answered, but normally it's a voicemail. Please leave a message. They return all the voicemails. There are a few other ways to keep up with what's going on around here and the pets that are available for adoption and the different rabies clinics and the voucher program, and those are through the city website, casagrandeaz.gov, and the city's Facebook and Twitter pages. Of course, you can also keep up with azpetplates.org, and that'll give you some great information as well. So we thank you for watching another episode of Parade of Paws, and we can't wait to see you and showcase some more of our animals next time. Have a great day.